discipline and practice.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bullcrap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
That's how long I've been on ya.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio, right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
You know how long I've been on ya. Since Prince was on Apollonia. Since OJ had isotoners. Don't act like I...
Welcome in, everybody. It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, so spring practice is just that, spring practice, right? While the coaches are coaching hard, and they certainly are, we hear it, we see it. Don't expect these like mind-boggling reports when we come back from these practices. A, we're only there for a few minutes, and B, there's only so much that can be done during that. But the players, especially the younger ones, are learning the system, getting reps in, getting them ready for fall camp. You know, and there are some injuries here and there, so you get what you get, right? And I won't know, neither will you, what kind of quarterback Haynes King is going to be for this team till maybe the Miami game is what I think OB said yesterday, or Max or Connor, whoever it may be. You're going to have to wait a little while for that information. But we are getting glimpses. I think, though, until you take on a team that is scheming for you and seeing what you do on film and actually trying to stop you and only you, I don't think you really know. That being said, I think it's been beneficial. I've enjoyed going to these spring practices for evaluation and letting my eyes kind of see things that I saw on video, but they're in person. There's a bunch I want to see this weekend, but I understand it is a quick view, and we'll see who actually is going to be out there. But you know those competitive juices are going to be out there. I guarantee Connor Wigman is just going to be juicing for that moment. And last night, I only watched 68% of the game. I did a mathematical equation before the show. But Kansas does come back in dramatic fashion to win the NCAA championship, even with infractions still pending on that program, Bill Self. All right, with that, we're going to begin the Go Hour with my buddy Olin Buchanan here on TexAgs Radio. And OB, I am going to give out a show topic, all right? And this one you can think about for a little bit, but I think it's going to be a good one.
Okay, what you got?
What team do you want to beat the most this season? Give me a 1A and 1B. Think about it for a moment. In football,
okay.
Yeah. 1A and 1B. And if you get a 1C, that's fine too. I had that on the message boards. But you can text us on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. A&B, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas Banking. AMB.com is the website, or you can call us on the BCSI hotline, 979-693-1150. The reason I bring that up, OB, is I was made aware of a Lane Kiffin tweet, I guess, in the last 24 to 48 hours. Did you see it?
Something about
A&M signing LB Overton, or LT Overton. Yeah, something about that. And it was just, because it was deleted, but the screenshot that I saw was just the report of him signing with Texas A&M coming from Lane. Didn't say anything, didn't trash talk, but you know he's trolling there for a reason, and there's a reason he took it off. He has made himself a target, and I think Jimbo Fisher is misunderstood, and somehow, some way, people are more upset with Jimbo responding than Lane attacking.
And that's because, it still goes back to the way the national media had attacked him for just coming here and for accepting this enormous contract. Forget how many other college coaches have enormous contracts and make more than him. But, oh, gosh, how could you do that and make us look wrong? And so I think Jimbo's always going to be the guy that's going to be criticized until they win a national championship and maybe even after.
Yeah, so it just made me think to myself, all right, this guy has done everything right since being at A&M, right? He hasn't won a national championship, okay? But
took Mac Brown 8 years.
Sure, right? And honestly, this is probably not going to be a popular opinion. Does not winning a national championship not make him the right hire? If in 10 years he never won, no. I mean, it's disappointing. That's what you sign up for, but he's still the absolute grand slam.
would the national media tell you that Lincoln Riley was a great hire at Oklahoma?
Yes, they will. He didn't win anything.
We were on here with Barrett Salee. We used to have him from, and he said he thought one of the best coaches was Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State. Did he ever win?
Nope.
You know, actually, you can probably pretty much throw out any Frank Beamer.
Nope.
Great coach or not?
Yeah, I think he's a great coach. Yeah.
You know, you can go down the list.
By the way, Lincoln Riley, the same guy you just talked about who was a great coach at Oklahoma, USC is being applauded and lauded for signing him. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't done anything either.
Brian Kelly. Great hire, right?
Yep.
Has he ever won a national championship?
No, he hasn't.
He's been in some national championship games because Notre Dame always gets a little bump from everybody, and they get more credit than they deserve.
Now, does Jimbo have to make it to the playoffs in the next 3 or 4 years? I don't know, have to, but yeah, that is absolutely like how he'll be looked upon differently here. He has to make a playoff here at Texas A&M to be glorified the way we expect him to be glorified. A national championship puts him on a different level. But again, like he's done everything. Number 1 recruiting class, an Orange Bowl victory. The program is going up. There's not a lot of controversy around it. Like I think he's misunderstood, and it's because of what you told me when I got here. He just joined a non-blue blood in their eyes, and you don't have VIP passes just yet.
Yeah, I compared him to Al, what was his name, Cervic, the Rodney Dangerfield character in Caddyshack.
Yep.
He's the guy that's the new money, nouveau riche. He comes into the stale country club that only wants its people, and they don't like an outsider coming in. Well, A&M is that guy, and he's loud, and he's making trouble, and he's upsetting the apple cart.
But he's loud in his responses.
I don't mean loud in the way he carries himself,
right.
But yeah, loud in his responses. I'm loud because I come in and beat Florida when I'm not supposed to. I'm loud because I go 9-1 and complain and say that our team should be in the playoffs. I'm loud because I beat Alabama. I'm loud because I get the number 1 recruiting class ever.
So I was on Chuck Oliver's show yesterday. And he's a host in Atlanta, does a great job. And he was asking me if maybe A&M is looking at Texas side-eye. And I'm like, no, why would we? And he was like, well, and he didn't mean any disrespect by it. But I was like, they should be looking at us sideways because when they were going into the SEC, that was supposed to be the end of our recruiting. We were supposed to be done. That's it. Texas is in the SEC. No more A&M. You had your fun. Oh, what did they do? They got the greatest recruiting class in the history of recruiting classes.
I've been hearing that too. Oh, they're always going to have to recruit against Texas, always have.
Yep.
And you think that the conference is what made Texas, what made A&M out-recruit Texas? The conference, I used to tell Gabe this because he was at one time under this idea that Texas wouldn't be able to recruit at all because they weren't on that. Your conference, the SEC, is a tool in your toolbox, but it's just one tool. You've got all kinds of things. That's why I said, yeah, you could say you had the SEC, but you've got a national championship coach with a great staff that relates to players. You've got amazing fan support. You've got the superior facilities. You've got proximity. You've got an AAU education. There is no, it's a true college town, not a big city with a college in it. There are no negatives about Texas A&M. And if you come here and see it, you realize that. Now, if you live in Austin, which I did for 11 years, you think it's this utopian place, if you don't mind the homeless people and the drug addicts,
right,
all over your streets and defecating in public the way it used to be. I think they're trying to clean that up. But this is just the greatest place. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
But if you don't mind traffic and high crime rates and all those things, so you also have since I brought that up, there's a feeling of safety here that a lot of kids coming from maybe at-risk environments are attracted to.
Sure.
So there are no negatives about coming to Texas A&M, and people come here and see it and find it and realize, I think this is where I need to be.
Yeah, it just and it's interesting. Like every couple of weeks, couple of months, this topic kind of resurfaces for different reasons, and the most recent is Lane Kiffin again trying to troll. And look, I think the guy's a pretty good coach. I wouldn't say he's a great coach. I think he's done a very nice job at Ole Miss, and he's taken advantage of the transfer window. He is. Won some big games, had a quarterback that really helped them. We'll see how they do this year with a different QB. But all that being said, he's trying to pick a fight with a team that I think has done it the right way, a program that has done it the right way and playing in the rules. And, another part of the conversation, and I'll bring it up later on the show, was that, you guys should be proud of the 30 million, rumors out there. And I'm like, no, it's not about the 30 million. Because what does that mean for the rest of the roster that's already here? Okay, there's that. What does it mean for the guys going to the NFL draft? Don't you think Jalen Watermeyer could have used some of that money and reconsidered going to the NFL? Sure. I mean, Kenyon Green, a for sure first rounder, in my opinion. Maybe he doesn't. Marv was looking like a first rounder, but there's other ways you would spend the money on people who haven't proven themselves to people who have proven themselves.
Agree. Absolutely. I mean, it's first of all, you don't like someone telling things about you that aren't true. They said David Nuño. Let me tell you about that guy.
It's probably true.
He shaves his armpits. He's not really Cuban. He's actually Latvian, and he tries to dye his hair and all the, you're like, why do you say that? It's not true.
Not yet. I haven't started doing it yet.
He gets mad at people in soccer and wants to fight.
That's true.
So, but you don't want someone saying things about you that aren't true.
No, you don't. And that's the thing. Like, if they're throwing a narrative, because they're throwing that narrative out there, not as a good thing, as a bad thing too.
Well, they want to, and I think
only because diminish your success.
Yeah, I think that's what Jimbo was upset about. Is he's saying that all these players were on the take. And you have a guy like, for instance, Walter Nolan said, if I was trying to get paid, I'd have gone to Tennessee.
Right.
And it's amazing to me how that quote never picked up any legs.
By the way, we haven't really done a full segment on this, and we might try to get to it today, about just thinking about the different matchups and the way you can play with that defensive line. It is, like, we've talked about it being ridiculous, and it is ridiculous. But, like, when you actually start looking at, all right, well, who's going to go here? Who's going to rotate there? Like, there's so many options. I want to talk to you about that. But let's go around the room and say hello to the people behind the glass. We go to Director Sam Kamen. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I want to play Georgia because that would mean most likely that we're in the SEC championship game.
I think that's a great way to think about it. That's a good one. 1A, Georgia. You keep your thoughts to yourself, Obi. We're going to get to you here in a moment.
I always do.
Well, no, you don't. Let's go to Mr. Casares there at the News and Social Center. What's up, Eric?
Good morning, David, Obi. How was New York, guys? I haven't seen you in a week.
Cold.
The first day was one of the most intense 22-degree weathers I've ever experienced. That was terrible.
It was terrible. The first 3 days were unbearably cold.
That was nice. As we were leaving.
The last day was nice. It's dirty. It's cold. The smell of cigarette smoke and weed is...
Everybody smokes.
Everybody, and nobody's happy.
No, they're all in a hurry. No matter where they're going, they're in a hurry.
Can't you be in a hurry and still be smiling?
Sure.
Not there.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes when I'm late, I'm not in a great mood. I'll tell you this. I love the energy of New York. I love being there, but I think my window to be there is maybe 72 hours.
Yeah.
That's
nice place to visit. Wouldn't want to live there.
Yep.
I like going for a good day. Like I've been twice, and I've only toured the city just the whole day, and then I'm burnt out after that. I couldn't imagine living there.
I feel that way about Disney World, but that's a topic for a different day. We're planning a Disney trip. I'm like, I like it for like 3 or 4 hours, but when you're in line and it's all the people and it's waiting and it's a small world after all, it gets old. But that's a different topic. What do you got for us in the news, Eric?
Yeah, so first thing, I got Texas A&M's men's baseball. They will host number 15 ranked Texas State tonight at 6:30 at Olson Field. A&M will look to bounce back after a series loss to Alabama this past weekend. But the offense has been heating up the past 11 games, batting .317 18 home runs, 25 doubles, 2 triples, 506 slugging percentage, 389 on-base percentage. Dylan Rock and Jack Moss have been a huge part of that success. Last week after a series loss to Auburn, they came out and beat TU. So looking to get a huge win over Texas State tonight, but it's not going to be easy. They're one of the most improved teams in the NCAA this year.
Yeah, we were talking to Bronny yesterday. They've got 4 games this week, and their series with Kentucky starts on Thursday. They really could use 3 wins. And I know, of course, they could use 4 wins. But
they may lose tonight.
Texas State's legit, good. Yeah.
By the way, since we're talking about things that happened over the weekend, and our man Eric with a really strong performance in that dual meet against Texas.
Yeah.
What event was it?
It was the 3,000 meters. So it doesn't really happen outdoors. It's mostly an indoor event. So you have that at conference. But outdoor, you can only run a numerous amount of times, really in the early season meets, because you can't get a regional qualifier for it.
3,000 meters, almost 2 miles.
Way to go, man. Proud of you, brother.
Appreciate y'all.
Anything else in the news you want to hit?
Yeah, I mean, I guess since we're on the topic of track and field, we'll just say that we continue to rise at the top of the NCAA right now. Both men and women are ranked number 2 in the country after a crazy dual meet between Texas this past weekend. The men lost by 9 points, and the women fell short of 2 points. And Texas is still ranked first on both the men and women's side, coming in after a strong national indoor championship, especially by the men.
Hey. By the way, Devon A-Chain, he's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that. He was so fast this weekend.
He's fast.
Leading the NCAA in the 200 meter
he's
right now.
really, really fast.
Hey, Eric, I got to ask you, I know that Coach Henry's going to be here later, and he won't answer this, but maybe you will. Like, do you guys even care about, like, how much do the rankings matter to you at this point?
I mean, they don't really matter. I mean, I like letting the people know about the rankings. I think it's really exciting that we're up there as one of the best teams in the nation. And it's not a fluke. You know, we hung with the best team in the nation this past week. But we don't really care about it, essentially, because it doesn't really matter until June. You know, June is when you make the most noise.
Well, I got to say that I've been very impressed with what they've been able to do, because if you think about some of the talent that they've lost over the last year, you know, A-Thing is doing her thing. There's a defector that went out to Texas.
Yeah.
And yet they're still the number 2 team in the country. You know, like, you want to win a national championship, you can absolutely do it at Texas A&M.
Well, that's been done so many times. Pat Henry, there's not a better track and field coach
and
anywhere.
I think Coach Henry will tell you that he'll probably say it numerous times today that we're more of an outdoor team. You know, indoor is great, but we build for the outdoor season. The outdoor season where it really happens, where the money's made and where everybody's looking at you. So
yeah, but I think he should put you in the steeplechase. I think that's what you need to run, steeplechase. I want to see you running in that water.
I'd like to see that. All right, let's talk about the Association of Former Students. They've been around for a long time, over 140 years. Your financial gifts have empowered them to be here, to be there, to be everywhere. And they've been doing it for so many different types of groups out there. So hopefully many of you are members of the Century Club, right? You're giving your $100 and you're helping Aggies around the world, because your impact goes such a long, long way. Mustard, tailgate, traveling Aggies, ring day. These are all the things that the association does. But they do it for you. They do it for people like me. They do it for Aggies all around the world. That's the why. And that's why I'm encouraging you to check out IamTheWhy.com. They've got a collection of these great Aggie stories on there of how the association has helped them, how these Aggies have persevered during difficult times in their life, and how they've made it and made it as Aggies out there. Check it out. IamTheWhy.com is the website to find some of these stories, a couple of ones for you. You got the story about Jose, who talks about the challenges his family overcame in order for him to be at A&M, and how scholarship helped him stay at school. You've got the fish drill team cadets talk about what it's like to compete and experience when they are announced as national champions. A lot of stories on there. Check them all out. IamTheWhy.com. IamTheWhy.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. NMLS 1309378, Equal Housing Opportunity. The Brazos County Health District is hosting an after-hours COVID vaccine clinic on Tuesday from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Shot in the Dark is free and open to the public. Silver Taps will be held Tuesday night in honor of 3 Aggies who died recently. The ceremony begins at 10:30 p.m. in the Academic Plaza. Mingle for Meals, benefiting the Brazos Valley Food Bank, is Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the College Station Hilton. 10 fast-paced talks about 10 local needs across 3 stages. Visit bvfb.org for more information. Join the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History on Saturday, April 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for Wildflower Day at Boonville Heritage Park. That's your community calendar brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Is your business expanding? Eagle Support Services to the rescue. Proudly located in College Station, their full-service warehouse offers both short and long-term inventory storage. They can also kit your merchandise and ship it nationwide, providing an all-in-one fulfillment solution. For your warehousing and fulfillment needs, visit EagleSupportServices.com. That's EagleSupportServices.com. Eagle Support Services, local storage, nationwide fulfillment.
Hey parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Hopewell Classical Day School, Kinder Music, Happy Camper School, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Prosperity Bank, Hargrove Insurance, and Rudy's Barbecue. Here's a big gig 'em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
This is Dale from Columbus, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show.
I watched a television commentator this morning. They were talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock, and she said that it was so painful to watch. She said, after I watched that on Sunday night, I could not sleep. She couldn't sleep because two guys that are combined worth about $1 billion slapped each other.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fun Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on The Zone.
And we are back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. OB with us here for the Go Hour. OB, I put Mike Evans on the rundown to talk about historically where he is because over the weekend, a little note popped up on my timeline. Jalen Ramsey doesn't name Mike Evans in his top 5 wide receiver list. Not that people's opinions really matter, but it just I sometimes think Mike gets slept on. Not from Aggies, obviously, but his top 5, speaking of Jalen Ramsey's, was Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Odell Beckham Jr., and Cooper Kupp. Fine. That's fine. I think consistency, longevity, and Mike's numbers overall put him. But is he a Hall of Famer? Because
yeah, I think he is. I think what you're talking about there is a guy that's more impressed with Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds than Henry Aaron, who Aaron never had this, the 60 home runs, but he was 50 home runs every year. And that's what you get with Mike Evans. You get 1,000 yards every year. You know what you're going to get with him because he's consistently excellent. Now, does he go out and is he going to get a 80-yard touchdown because he's faster than everybody?
That's not his game, yeah.
That's not his game. But that's what impresses people. And will he ever have 2,000, some 80 catches for, I don't know, whatever you would identify as just an amazing statistical year? Probably not. But he's going to go out and he's going to catch about 10 touchdown passes. He's going to catch about 100 passes or whatever, and he's going to 80, 90 passes, and he's going to get you 1,000 yards, and he's going to do it every year.
Well, and he's done it, and people forget,
with bad quarterbacks.
Yeah, other than the last 2 seasons, he did not have Tom Brady. He had, I'll give you a couple of the names, Jameis Winston, who had a nice year there, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's been a journeyman, Mike Glennon, Josh McCown. This guy has done it. Now, the thing that I think will hurt him is that there is a logjam at wide receiver of guys that you may put Mike above or right around the same level. I put him above, who's the name that I had on here? Torrey Holt. But Torrey Holt is a name that's still not in there. There's other names out there as well that have not gotten in. Reggie Wayne, 10-time All-Receiving Yards, Super Bowl champion, 3-time All-Pros, 6-time Pro Bowl. He's not in yet. So there is a logjam. Andre Johnson, who I think is a Hall of Famer. Some people outside of Houston don't. He's still waiting. So when his day comes, to me, he's a no-brainer, especially if you look at some of the statistics that he's in there. Only 5 players in NFL history have recorded 70-plus touchdowns and 8,500 receiving yards in their first 115 games played. Mike Evans, Marvin Harrison, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice. All of those minus Mike Evans
in the Hall of Fame.
are in the Hall of
And
Fame.
you know what Mike does that all these so-called great, well, not so-called, all these other great receivers do that they don't do? He blocks his ass off.
He does.
You just, and ask Terrence Newman about that.
Yep.
If you've ever seen that video.
Yeah, and he's also not a diva in a position that has a lot of divas, and they bring attention upon themselves. Antonio Brown, like there's players, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of people who put a lot of attention on themselves for things outside of being a great wide
Mike's
receiver.
the guy that took a pay cut, so they could try to win another championship. Mike might get overlooked for a while, but eventually he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's just too good.
Yeah, and I was actually looking at some of his numbers, comparing them with others, okay? So looks like DeAndre Hopkins came in 2013. Mike Evans came in 2014. A lot of people think DeAndre Hopkins is a Hall of Famer, okay?
Yeah.
Mike Evans has more touchdowns, okay? And then you could say, well, DeAndre's had bad quarterbacks. They both had bad quarterbacks. DeAndre had for a couple seasons Deshaun Watson, who put up some big numbers with him. But, he had some bad quarterbacks, and Mike Evans had Tom Brady for just a couple seasons. But he's got more touchdowns in less games, 71-68. So there's that. And it looks like yards per looks like he's right above years since 21. He's got more yards per 21 yards, beyond 21 yards, I should say. He's got a lot of statistics that put him in the very top echelon of all these great wide receivers in this kind of renaissance of passing. Mike Evans is a throwback wide receiver / guy who can do it all right now.
He's just a bad man. I mean, he may be the toughest, just physically toughest receiver in football. If you had to pick out any receiver that you did not want to fight, I think Mike Evans is the guy.
You don't want that smoke.
He's just a big, tough guy.
Yeah, and he is. I saw him recently. I can't remember how long ago it was, maybe a week or two ago, as one of the top 20 college wide receivers we've seen.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would buy into that. I think I would if he had played one more season.
Mm-hmm.
That first, don't get me wrong, very productive, but if you were looking at it honestly, Mike had some times, and I'm sure it's based on inexperience, especially that even in this second year, he would disappear for long stretches. I think if he'd have played a third year, now I think if Manziel and Evans had played 4 years, they would be looked at now, even and forever, as the greatest passing combination in college football ever.
And a national champion, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They could have won it in 2013 had they had a bad defense, but it was historically inept.
Yeah.
Even they couldn't overcome that. But anyway, I don't know if I would go that far, but because again, he would disappear at times. He needed more consistency, and Swope was their best receiver in 2012.
So I don't need maroon goggles to tell you that I think Mike is a first ballot Hall of Famer. That being said, I don't know if there are that many wide receivers that will be first ballot Hall of Famers.
Yeah, he probably won't be a first ballot Hall of Famer unless he plays another 8 years and still gets does and produces at the same rate. But he'll be a Hall of Famer, I have no doubt.
For that reason, I like the Tom Brady storyline, but I'm happy to have Tom Brady back for those two to link up a little bit more because his numbers have definitely gotten better with Tom Brady around.
Yeah, and his numbers are good even when
Josh McCown,
even when Tampa Bay has other receivers to throw to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's just in a way, he's like a tight end in the fact that he's a security blanket. You just know you can go to him. Need him to go short, need him to go long. He's going to be there. He's going to be physical. He's going to find his way to the ball.
I think the biggest mistake that A&M made in 2013 was they didn't, against Auburn, they didn't just throw 4 times on the fade to Evans in the corner. The first time they did it, it almost got it. Just do it 3 more times. He would have won that game. He would have gotten one of them.
When I get the DeLorean and we get our time machine, we're going to replay that series and see if we can get that done. Right now, let's talk about Aggie loan expert Christine Engler, class of 97. You can find her at AggieLoanExpert.com. She met her husband, John, here at Texas A&M, class of 1997, while he was a member of the Texas Aggie Fighting Band and took a commission serving the U.S. Army after graduation. She's awesome at what she does. She's going to give you great deals. She's very efficient, detail-friendly. She makes the mortgage process smooth and easy for clients out there. She's been doing it for a long time, but bringing her business here to the Brazos Valley to give you some of the best options out there. It's a crazy market. Other lenders are taking months to close loans, but in a very competitive market, she's going to give you so many different scenarios to help you out. That's why she is the Aggie loan expert, Christine Engler. Her team offers low rate and on-time closing, streamlined digital mortgage technology, and customer service that nobody can match. With a pre-approval from Aggie loan expert, you'll be backed by her 21-day closing guarantee. To get started, visit AggieLoanExpert.com. Terms and conditions do apply. Christine Engler, Aggie Loan Expert, NMLS number 1309378, company NMLS number 1324641, equal housing opportunity.
We once had Olin do push-ups on air for good radio. Go figure.
Are you ready?
Let's begin. TexAgs Radio with David Nuño, weekdays on The Zone.
Howdy, Coach Gary Blair inviting you to a celebration dinner and silent live auction Thursday, May the 5th at the Expo Complex, benefiting Special Olympics and other charities. Doors open at 6 and $20 will get you dinner and drinks. Go to CoachBlairCharities.com for more. Special thanks to Truist, Michelob Ultra, Chili Fest, and The Zone 1150.
Hey parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Hopewell Classical Day School, Kinder Music, Happy Camper School, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
The strength of America, our values, our way of life hasn't just been won on the battlefield. It's won every day in our communities when we come together, extending hands of compassion, service, and hope to those who need it most. For over 100 years, the American Legion has been strengthening communities across our nation by providing life-saving help and support to our veterans and neighbors during times like we're facing today. It's what the Legion's all about. From blood drives to distributing food, from responding to emergencies and protecting the most vulnerable among us. Our mission is making America's communities stronger.
We are one family, and therefore we care.
We are the American Legion, veterans strengthening America. To learn how you can help, visit legion.org.
This is ESPN Radio.
Bill Self's Kansas head coach.
We've had a great year. It hasn't always been pretty. We've had some down moments and been exposed.
Jim Larinaga, Miami's head coach, joining us.
You got to really enjoy March Madness. This can be like a one-in-a-lifetime experience.
Carly Lloyd, two-time Olympic gold medalist and two-time World Cup champion, joining us.
I think every athlete wants to fight their coach at some point, right?
The head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Smith.
Where we're at, where Matt was at in his career, we thought it was a great situation in Indy. It also got us a ton of cap room going forward.
Chris Jenkins, 2016 Villanova national champion.
Chris, how much free stuff do you get off that shot?
Let's just say that I'm well taken care of. I'm well taken care of.
Listen in to ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM.
And we are back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, so I have a show topic. Who's the team you want to beat the most? Who do you want to just take it to? 1A and 1B. Give me a couple options out there. You can be a part of the conversation on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150. Eric will read some of those here shortly, or you can call us on the BCSI hotline. That same number, 979-693-1150. OB, you look at the schedule, you know the storylines out there. Who's your 1A, who's your 1B?
1A, Alabama. Always want to beat them most. And, 1B might surprise you because I know Ole Miss would be up there, but for me, 1B is Arkansas. That's like walking across, losing to Arkansas last week was like walking across your backyard and stepping in some dog excrement. And you're like, it's not that big a deal. You can go wash off, but you're like, oh, how did this happen? Why wasn't I more careful? If I'd just been paying attention, let me, go wash it off. It was like paying a tithe to the football gods. Okay, it's 10%. Here's it's been 10 years. Here's your one. Here's your 1 in 10, and pick it back up. Watch your step. As long as you're careful and don't. And you're paying attention, you'll win that game. So, yeah.
So you say...
And Arkansas people got on my back last year because I said they're no longer our Kansas, which was a...
compliment.
A compliment. They got all bent out of shape about that. I started hearing from them. But I just don't like to lose to Arkansas. And it doesn't happen that much.
So you would say 1A is Alabama. 1B, Arkansas. If you had a 1C, who would it be?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss?
Yeah, and if now Jimbo Fisher's a better person than I am. Not that that's a great revelation, but if I was the coach next year, and if the situation dictated, I would put a third digit up on the scoreboard.
I would too.
I'd go for 3 digits.
See, that's why we get along. I would keep scoring and keep. But Jimbo's a good guy, and you shouldn't put your players in harm. And I get it. But if it were me, I'm putting 84 points on him and laughing.
It's fourth. I'm like the old Woody Hayes line when he went for 2 with a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter against Michigan, and they said, "Coach, you had a 20-point lead. Why'd you go for 2?" And he said, "Because they wouldn't let me go for 3."
I love that.
So that's what I would do in that game.
So I am similar but different. I'm going 1A Alabama because I don't think you want to be compared and you want to be in that level at all times, right? So Alabama game is the one that you really compare your season to. But there are a lot of games that lead up to it that if you only win that game, it doesn't really matter. But I think Alabama is the game that matters on your schedule right now before you get to the SEC championship game, right? I have a 1B, which is Ole Miss, because of Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Okay? Lane Kiffin is bugging me. He's trying to pick a fight, and for some reason, people are on his side about this, but he's the one picking the fight, and it bugs me. So for that, the fact that Texas people are loving it, the fact that A&M haters like Oklahoma are loving it, makes Lane Kiffin the face that I want to punch in a football sense, right? And I want to run up the score on them and continue to do so. So that he'd be my 1B.
I'm fine with that.
And then my 1C, it's not Arkansas, it's LSU.
LSU.
I want to own LSU. I want to own them because last year should have been 3 or 4, right? Should have been. Wasn't. I want to own them. I want to show that Brian Kelly isn't going to be a good fit there. They tried to take our coach. Didn't work out too well with him. And I want to win at every sport we do against them. Basketball, baseball, football, gymnastics, cheerleading, dance team, everything.
Yeah, well, we don't have a gymnastics team. But if we did, we'd probably be a national power because all the gymnasts come out of Houston.
Yeah, they'll be right down the road. Yeah, I'm just saying it doesn't matter what.
Right.
I want to beat LSU, and I want to beat them off.
Yeah, I always have wanted to beat LSU, but especially now. Don't want to have to listen to crap from my son.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Look, I have a respect for that athletic program because
I've failed as a parent.
They have done a very good job, but our moment is now, and I believe that is coming in baseball. I hope it's coming in basketball. I felt like it is. I feel like LSU is about to take a step down for obvious reasons.
Do they even have a team right now?
They don't have a team right now. And then football, I think, this is a golden opportunity. I know Brian Kelly's there, but if you can start beating them consistently with their new head coach and with the way you're recruiting, put some distance there. So I went C on you, 1A, 1B, 1C.
That's fine.
Yeah, we could go through the whole schedule.
Because if you asked Jimbo Fisher, he'd say, Sam Houston or whoever their opening
first game
against.
is. Yeah,
because that's what coaches do. You're like, don't give me the coach line, because they're the next one on the schedule.
Do you think that's partially true though, because they're so focused?
Yes. Well, partially. There are some games you just have to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was working in Austin, Ag, sorry, I'm going to tell you how it was. I don't know how it is now, but I'll tell you how it was then. You had to beat Oklahoma. That's the game, and that would get you fired if you don't. Just as here, if you beat Texas, unless you're Dennis Francione, you were usually in pretty good shape because Dennis won his last 2 years against Texas and still got fired. At Georgia, you want to beat Florida. John Cooper was an outstanding coach at Ohio State, but he couldn't beat Michigan.
All right.
And he got fired because he couldn't win one game. And quite frankly, that's why Jim Harbaugh was on the hot seat until this year, because he couldn't beat Ohio State. So, yes, there are some games that absolutely that mean more than you have to, and you should, as a good coach, acknowledge it. But, of course, Jimbo will never acknowledge it because he says it doesn't matter who your opponent is. Compare yourself to yourself. Play at a high level no matter who the opponent is.
Sure. Yep. No, and does it make you worry at all? And worry is probably not the right word. That you're going to have two must-win, and they're all must-wins in the SEC. So, but I'm saying like from a fan / importance, when they go to some pod or whatever, and it is LSU and it is Texas, that's pretty tough. Pretty tough to add to your schedule, but that's the SEC, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be tough for them. And I still believe, and I have no reason, nothing to back this up. It's just a theory that somebody brought to me. He said what he had heard. And it makes sense to me that the pod that A&M will be in will be A&M, LSU, Mississippi, and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
They want it, the theory I heard was two like huge programs and then two of the other programs, and that it would be Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, A&M, LSU, Mississippi, Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, South Carolina.
And what was the A&M one again?
A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
I'd be okay with that.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's what it is.
That's what
somebody who said that that's what he heard. I don't know where for all I know, he heard it from, some drunk guy.
Right.
All
right, let's do this. Let's hit a break here. We'll come back with the text messages on this topic. Who is your 1A, 1B? Who you guys want to beat this year more than anybody out there? And give me your reasons why for it. But right now, let's do this. Caller number one, we're going to give you a free car wash from Aggieland Express Car Wash in South College Station off of William D. Fitch and Greens Prairie. They're Aggie owned and operated with the friendliest staff and the personal touch. They offer monthly membership. We'll give the first caller a free car wash right now from Aggieland Express in South College Station. 979-693-1150.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. With an easy refinance, save over $350 a month. NMLS 1309378, Equal Housing Opportunity. The Blinn College Alumni and Friends and Buccaneer Alumni Letterman Associations invite you to the Blinn College District Clay Shootout on Friday, April 8th. Visit blinn.edu/alumni for more information. The Bryan Police Department's Blue Bunny Breakfast and Egg Hunt is Saturday, April 9th at the Bryan Regional Athletic Complex from 9 to 11 a.m. Free fun for the whole family. Brazos County Senior Citizens Association is hosting a free health fair on Wednesday, April 13th from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at 1402 Bristol Street in Bryan. Blinn College nursing students will be doing free checks. Call 822-6873 for more information. That's your community calendar, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Garcia, candidate for Brazos County District Clerk. I would like to thank all of my supporters in the Republican primary on March 1st. It has been a great honor to be a part of the political process here in Brazos County. And now I'm asking for your continued support in the Republican primary runoff on May 24th. Vote for me, Gabriel Garcia for Brazos County District Clerk. Thank you, and God bless.
Political ad paid for by Gabriel Garcia campaign, Pat Sevchek, treasurer.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors. Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Zwerneman Flooring, The Sleep Station, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Looking for the Zone prize rules? Would you like to apply for a job at the Zone? Or need a phone number or email for the Zone? Visit zone1150.com. Would you like to sign up for the Zone All Access newsletter? Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Or would you like to see the Zone's daily schedule? Visit zone1150.com. For more information, any questions, to contact us for everything and anything about the Zone, visit zone1150.com.
All right, we are TexAgs Radio. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I see your text messages on the A&B text line. We'll get to a bunch of those here in a moment. And, of course, the BCSI hotline as well. OB, you had a concert question for me.
Well, I want to get to know you better, and I got this email from SeatGeek.
Okay.
Tell me what some concerts coming up in Houston. I want to, like, I know if you'd go to Bad Bunny.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, and some of those others that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
I want to know if you'd go to some of these concerts.
Okay, bring it.
There's just a few. I won't.
Am I paying for it, or like somebody's got to?
No. You got to actually pay money.
Because there's not a lot of concerts.
Would you pay money to see Bad Bunny?
Not $700.
Well, okay, if it was in reason.
Yes.
Right, because
okay.
I wouldn't either.
Right.
So
reasonable ticket prices.
Reasonable time. If there was such thing, Coldplay.
Yeah, I'd go see Coldplay.
I would.
Yeah, I like. Was it Christopher Martin? Yeah, I like him.
Justin Bieber.
No, I couldn't go to Justin Bieber.
Yeah, thank you. The Who.
Yeah. I'd go
Hell
see
yeah.
Yeah, I'd go see the Who.
I was looking for tickets.
Wait, who?
The Who. Yeah. Daddy Yankee.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely go see Daddy Yankee. Oh yeah, he's a legend.
Do you really?
Yeah, heck yeah.
You serious?
Yeah, legend in reggaeton.
Never heard of him.
That's probably be number one of the people you've
really.
Given. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, see, I'm ignorant.
Yeah, I like Daddy Yankee.
Motley Crue and Def Leppard.
I'd like to watch. Yeah. Okay, that's one that if you invited me or like a friend invited me, I would go. Would I go buy it myself? No.
DJ Snoopadelic.
No idea who that is.
Okay, and then Ice Cube.
Yeah, I've seen Ice Cube before. I'd see Ice Cube again. O'Shea Jackson, sure.
And I'm not even going to say the punk rock band that I saw.
The one that you told me earlier.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
I guess that's about,
Any other? Come on, give me one more.
Okay, one more. Well, some are, okay. He's coming to Minute Maid Park. Elton John.
Yeah, I'd go see Elton John. Yeah.
I guess it's too easy, right?
Yeah.
Because people go.
He's a Hall of Fame legend.
Yeah, a legend. There's a band tomorrow at the White Oak Music Hall, the Naked Giants.
I think no, just by the name.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see a naked giant, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have enough feelings.
There's good naked and bad naked. That's a bad name.
I have enough feeling of inadequacy without going to see the Naked Giants.
Let's go to the News and Social Center. Eric Casares, you've got some text messages on our question of the day, which is who's your 1A, 1B? Who do you got to beat this year? Who are the teams that you're eyeing for? Eric?
Yeah, we got quite a bit. So first one from Wink says, I want to beat whoever the East team is in the SEC championship. So basically he's saying he wants to play Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm cool with that. That means we made it there. I'm happy with that. What else you got?
910 number said 1A Alabama, 1A2 Georgia, 1B everyone else.
I just look at the schedule. That's why I don't pick Georgia.
Yeah.
And what if Kentucky actually beats Georgia or somebody else? I mean, it happens.
Yeah, sure. It absolutely could happen. Eric?
JM and College Station says, I want to beat Kiffin and then find the bridge he lives under and demolish it.
Yeah, I just want to beat him on the field, and it'll be here at Kyle Field, and I want to beat them convincingly. But that offense is going to be tough.
You know what? If I was a college coach, this is a little bit off topic, I'd probably get in trouble for this, but I would always know the line. And I would do everything in my power to cover because I know all my fans are betting on me. And so if I have a chance to cover, if it meant, going for it on 4th down with a minute to go, I would, just to make sure my guys covered.
You're a man of the people.
I am. I am a man of the people.
You are a man. By the way,
sorry, Eric, for interrupting you on that.
I'm curious why more people don't tell Kiffin, like, hey, while A&M is getting all this talent, how come you keep losing assistant coaches? Even your brother left.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's leaving you, bro. Like, your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator obviously came here. Your brother, what was he, co-offensive coordinator for like a week or something like that? What else, Eric?
TexAgs and Taylor said, Bama because of the implications for the CFB playoffs. LSU because God help us, they are the most obnoxious fans. Number 3, Ole Miss, because the first one can be a misstatement, just poking fun or whatever, but the second makes it intentional, and now you know why so many in college football want to punch that troll, including Saban. Wow, that was very graphic.
Yeah, well, but interestingly, I think more people, maybe it's just because that's what I see on my timeline, the way the algorithm works, are on Team Kiffin on this, except my Aggies. Like, people are like, like, again, the question was like, Jimbo attacked Kiffin. No, Jimbo responded to Kiffin. There's a difference.
There absolutely is. I know someone in politics that was the same way. They would respond and then be the bad guy with the response.
Name the movie. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
I don't know that movie. Is that Scarface?
Yeah, I think it's Tony Montana.
Yeah, the way you said it, I just assumed. You got some Tony Montana in you.
I got a little temper. No cocaine, though. I can proudly admit that. Ever.
Yeah. Okay. You
have
any automatic weapons? Say hello to my little friend.
Well, you can. All right, Obi, thank you so much.
Is that what you do when you introduce Gabe? Say hello to my little friend.
That's what Billy did. All right, we are done for the first hour of the program. When we come back here on the show, a little Aggie dance team. They're going to the national championship, OB. They won a couple of them last year. Let's talk about that next on TexAgs.
We're here with Jason Rollo of Rollo Insurance. Jason, when we say the difference is real, what does that mean?
Let's take the term real, R-E-A-L. Rates, education, assets, and life. And here's what I mean. People think insurance is about rates, and although those are important, it's really about education of the product you're buying so we can protect the assets of people, and we want to do that for life. Insurance is about taking care of people, and that's what we mean when we say the difference is real.
For more information, go to rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs.
Who do you think is the best? Nominations are now open for the 22nd year of the Best of the Brazos Valley. Go to bestofthebrazosvalley.com and submit your nominations for the best in dining, entertainment, service, retail, automotive, health, and wellness, and everything in between. If you think it's the best, make sure it's on the Best of the Brazos ballot. After 22 years and hundreds of thousands of votes, this is the one that counts. Nominate now at bestofthebrazos.com.
It's entertainment. It's sports. It's aliens. It's Chip Howard, Sports Talk. Weekdays 4 to 6 on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is KZNE College Station, Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the Zone. A longtime Bryan restaurant is closed for an undetermined amount of time following a weekend fire. No one was inside Chicken Oil Company at South College and Old College, according to its Facebook page, when the fire was found just before 5:30 Sunday afternoon. WTW News has sent the Bryan Fire Department requests for additional information. A Bryan man goes to jail for the 9th time in 5 years after falling asleep in his vehicle while stopped at an intersection. According to the Bryan Police arrest report, 2 people were asleep in the SUV stopped at the intersection of Welborn Road and Villa Maria at 2:45 Monday morning. When the officer woke up the driver, he told the officer, "We came here to have a good time." Another officer made contact with the passenger and observed a half-empty bottle of vodka in the vehicle. 22-year-old Christian Cortez refused a field sobriety test and was transported to the hospital for a blood sample. Cortez was charged with driving while intoxicated, open container, and held in lieu of a $2,000 bond. A Bryan man goes to the Brazos County Jail for the 8th time after being arrested for family violence assault. According to the BPD arrest report, officers responded to a residence on Sunday night after a caller told dispatch her father was assaulting her mother. On arrival, officers found the daughter and the victim standing outside. Then 50-year-old Thomas Cruz came outside and told officers he and the victim were arguing and he hit her. The victim was transported to the hospital for her injuries. Cruz is jailed in lieu of a $10,000 bond. Another annual luncheon is returning as a live event this year.
This is our 28th year of You're the Tops. It's a luncheon that honors women who make a difference in our community.
Lynn Yeager, executive director of the prenatal clinic, says the luncheon is Saturday, April 23rd at the Hilton. Find more information and purchase tickets online at bcsprenatal.org. For more news, go online to WTAW.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at WTAW1620. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Howdy, Coach Gary Blair inviting you to a celebration dinner and silent live auction Thursday, May the 5th at the Expo Complex, benefiting Special Olympics and other charities. Doors open at 6 and $20 will get you dinner and drinks. Go to CoachBlairCharities.com for more. Special thanks to Truist, Michelob Ultra, Chili Fest, and The Zone 1150.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. The Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click HilcoSupply.com. Aggie football coach Jimbo Fisher is slated to visit with the media this afternoon to give an update on spring practice. Now the guys are set to hold their annual maroon and white game this Saturday at Kyle Field. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. and admission is free. Both Aggie baseball and softball are back on the diamond this evening. The guys entertained number 15 Texas State at Bluebell. Now, the two teams have met 60 times before, with the Ags holding a 46-14 advantage. First pitch is at 6:30 with broadcast right here on The Zone. Meanwhile, softball is at home as well to take on Incarnate Word. The Maroon and White are fresh off a 3-game sweep over Abilene Christian and are looking to get some players back after dealing with illness. Game time against the Cardinals is at 5 o'clock at Davis Diamond with coverage on Gospel 97.3 FM. And A&M women's golfer Haley Cooper held a share of the lead after shooting a 369 in the first round of the Silverado Showdown yesterday in Napa, California. As a team, the 11th-ranked Aggies shot 6 over in round 1, good enough for third place behind 5th-ranked San Jose State and number 2 Oregon. The second round of competition gets underway this morning at 10 o'clock Central Time at Silverado Resort and Spa. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
Looking for podcasts of TexAgs Radio, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard? Look inside the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. Don't miss a single rant, guest, or moment. You can download or subscribe to any and all of your favorite shows inside the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. There's also a special selection where you can find select interviews from David, Louie, and Chip. Look up Zone interviews inside the Pod Center at Zone1150.com. Download or subscribe, but don't miss out. Check out the Pod Center at Zone1150.com.
All right, it is TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're talking a little A&M dance team here. We've got Bella Villanueva with us, the captain. She's been on the team for 4 years, and Elizabeth McFarland, second year on the team. They go out to Orlando later on this week to defend some national championships, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. How are you, ladies?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah.
How are you?
We're good, thank you so much. So what's this week like leading up to it and then getting there? Like, kind of take me through what it feels like emotionally, getting ready and all that.
Yes. So for starters, we woke up at 5 in the morning, had practice really early.
This morning?
This morning.
Okay.
Yes.
Good times.
So we practice every morning this week since it's leading up to nationals. We practice every morning, every evening, and
Hold on. Stop. Every morning and every evening?
yes, for this week.
Okay. For this week.
week
Not like
leading
this
up.
is not your life all the time.
No.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yes. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, we just have morning practice, and then we're going to just kind of spend the rest of the day to recover, and then we leave 4 in the morning on Thursday to nationals.
Really exciting.
So, like, how long are these practices? How grueling are they?
So they're most of our practices are about 2 hours in segments. So in the morning we'll practice for 2 hours, and then in the evening we'll practice for 2 hours. And we're just this week we're kind of fine-tuning everything, hitting everything. We're not going crazy with the cardio stamina or anything, but we're just trying to tweak everything, then run it at the end, and just hope we're prepared.
Well, let's look at history. Last year, a couple national championships and Best in Show. I was asking you at the break to kind of help me understand how it works. So first off, Best in Show, what is that?
So at the competition that we go to, the first round is prelim. So that means everyone gets to perform, and the judges score us. And they get the highest scoring routine in each category. So in dance, there's hip hop, there's jazz, there's pop, different categories like that. They'll get the highest scoring team of each one, and then at finals at the very, very end, those routines get performed again, and the judges just pick who was the best. So it's very thrilling. Everyone's there, they're hyping each other up, and the judges just pick what routine was most exciting. And so last year, we got actually best in both of our routines. So we got to perform one of them. We got to choose, and we won, thankfully. So that was really exciting.
So Elizabeth, you guys were saying that it's not necessarily the most prestigious award, but it's the best fun award to win, right?
Yeah, so you get to perform in front of the whole competition. Everybody there gets to watch you and see, what you've brought to the table, and they do it by applause and just purely based off what the judges like the most. So it's really exciting.
And then explain the national championships that you guys were able to win last year and what you should be competing in this year.
Yes. Do you want me to kind of break down how that is, or just
break it all down?
Break it all down. Yes. So dance is a little bit different from like other sports. So at our dance competitions, they do compete by division. So you have like your D1A schools, your D1 schools, Division 3. So they do go based on that, and then they go based on categories. So Division 1A hip hop, Division 1A jazz, and things like that. And then they'll score you as that. So for us last year, we competed in Division 1A team and Division 1A jazz. And we compete against all Division 1A schools in those categories. And then from there, you get to be placed on whether you're first, second, third. And so this year, we're also competing in team and jazz. And I mean, I think we're looking great. There are more schools competing with us this year, a lot of great, talented schools. But I'm excited. Last year, we beat schools like UT, we beat Baylor. So that's really exciting. And we're just excited to show people what we've been working on, because it's really great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the tryout process like? How do you become an Aggie dance team member?
So the tryout process is a several-day process. Well, actually, originally, you have to submit a video audition, and then from there it gets cut down to about 60 girls-ish who come in person. And they try out in person for one day. We learn some routines. We do across the floor. It's kind of like all day, like grind. And then the next day you perform those routines that you learned the previous day. And from there, you just leave, and then you wait until there's an announcement on the internet, and you see if you made it, and then everyone comes back and we take pictures, and it's really exciting, and you get to meet your team. It's a great experience.
Bella, you talked a little bit about the time commitment when it comes to practice, but you guys, you're busy beyond just practicing, right? So kind of help break down what your schedule's like, especially during the spring with so many sports going on.
Yes, so we are very busy. We are involved in several sports. So we do every home football game. We do the intro, and there's some pregame activities that we always do. We go to donor tailgates, things like that. We help with soccer games. We perform at a couple volleyball games throughout the fall. And we perform at every home basketball game for men's and women's. And this year, thankfully, we're also doing baseball. So every home baseball game, we do those as well. And so this semester, during nationals, it does get very tight with basketball, with tournament. And then our practice schedule is a little bit longer just because we are training for nationals. So we'll practice about 20, 25 hours every week on top of all the games and events that we do. And for instance, like during spring break, we call it our hell week because we practice 10 to 13 hours every single day from Monday to like Sunday. So it's just constant grinding, but it's definitely a time commitment, but it's worth it in the end.
And you guys are basically volunteers, right? Because there's no scholarship behind this. It's just, hey, go to work.
Yes, we sign up, we audition, and then we do whatever they want us to do, so yes.
Did you guys get to go on any of the trips recently? New York City, Tampa, all the good stuff?
Yes.
So we flew in Friday night at 4. We got back to College Station, and then on Saturday morning we had practice at 9 a.m. So we've been blowing and going this semester. I went to Nashville. I know she went to Tampa and Nashville, and we both went to New York, and it's been such a great experience to like see the teams and just be able to support them in any way we can, and we appreciate being able to go.
With the national championship coming up, like when do you start training for that as opposed to training for your routines for sporting events?
So we start training kind of late November. That's when we'll have our choreographers come and start teaching us the routine, and it takes from November all the way to the day of prelims to perfect, change, adapt, manipulate every single part just to make sure our routines are absolutely perfect, because we do only get one shot to do it. So it takes several months to train.
Sounds like Eminem, lose yourself. You get one chance to do it, one opportunity. So what about Amy, who's not here with us this morning, who leads you guys? What is she? I mean, she's got history with the Atlanta Falcons as a cheerleader. She's got a lot of, performance background. How much does she help get everything set?
Oh, she does a lot in the background.
Always going.
She is a constant moving machine. She really makes sure that we get more than we have. She'll, does a lot of background work, things that we don't know, and we see it and we appreciate it, and she just makes sure that we know that we're valued, and that we are happy to be here, and that she wants us there and she wants us to work hard. So she does a really great job at that.
I think a good example is yesterday she got a big F-250 and she drove all the way to Nacogdoches to borrow. We compete on a specific type of flooring, and it's very expensive, so we borrow it from another school. And she drove down there, she drove back all by herself, and it was just so funny seeing this little 5-foot-tall lady drive in this huge truck.
So I got to imagine that these trips are not cheap. How do people help you? Because I'm sure you guys do fundraisers and whatnot. Are there things that people can do to help?
Yeah, so we fundraise throughout the year, and we are just very grateful for the donors that we do have, because they are a very big reason why we get the resources that we get, and we get just the extra things that we need. What else do we do? I mean,
usually every year we have a Spirit of Giving link, which comes around Christmas time, and it's just a link that opens, and you can donate any amount of money that you can. And we also do some T-shirt sales and bingo cards and just anything that we can think of to kind of make it fun and like an exciting way to raise money.
All right, both of you, last thing, just what does it mean to compete at the national level representing Texas A&M, knowing that you've done it before and you're hoping, and you probably will, do it again?
It's such an unreal experience being able, Texas A&M is such a big, like, well-known school, and the fact that we were able to go out there last year knowing that, like, we're Texas A&M, we're D1, there was a lot of pressure on us to, like, do really great, and I'm so happy that we came back with 2 national championship titles. And I think it's great that we're able to represent A&M, represent Texas A&M athletics, and be able to do that in what we love doing, and being able to train and just show people that we are more than just palms and, you know, a pretty outfit. We are a lot more than that.
I think for me, it's just like being able to represent A&M in the best light that I can. And like, you know, you grow up dreaming of being the girl on like the sidelines at basketball, and you're just, it's so like unreal to think that like there's a little girl sitting in the stands who like wants to be me when she grows up. And so I just like, I do it for her. I do it for that girl who like just is giving everything she has to get where I have been so fortunate to be.
Are the national championships streamed anywhere, or are they on TV? How can people keep up with what's going on?
So there is a live stream. It's going to be on the Dance Team Union website, and I believe they'll have a link, and they'll be able to see all the colleges perform live.
All right, well, Bella, Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming in. We'll talk to you guys soon, and best of luck. Hopefully you bring home some more championships.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. When we come back here on TexAgs Radio, we'll have an open segment. We'll get into your phone calls and your text messages. It is TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. NMLS 1309378, Equal Housing Opportunity. The Brazos County Health District is hosting an after-hours COVID vaccine clinic on Tuesday from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Shot in the Dark is free and open to the public. Silver Taps will be held Tuesday night in honor of 3 Aggies who died recently. The ceremony begins at 10:30 p.m. in the Academic Plaza. Mingle for Meals, benefiting the Brazos Valley Food Bank, is Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the College Station Hilton. 10 fast-paced talks about 10 local needs across 3 stages. Visit bvfb.org for more information. Join the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History on Saturday, April 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for Wildflower Day at Boonville Heritage Park. That's your community calendar, brought to you by Christine Engler at AggieLoanExpert.com. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Is your business expanding? Eagle Support Services to the rescue. Proudly located in College Station, their full-service warehouse offers both short and long-term inventory storage. They can also kit your merchandise and ship it nationwide, providing an all-in-one fulfillment solution. For your warehousing and fulfillment needs, visit EagleSupportServices.com. That's EagleSupportServices.com. Eagle Support Services. Local storage, nationwide fulfillment.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Progressive is America's #1 motorcycle insurer, so we understand motorcycles. No, really, we have a bike translator.
Okay, so this bike feels like he's capable of a little more than just trips to the convenience store. Oh, also, he wants to let you know that you can buy a gallon of ice cream instead of a pint every time. Those are his words. So he said roughly like, blink the last wheel. It doesn't really translate, but the way he said it was super funny.
Get 24/7 roadside assistance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Roadside assistance subject to policy terms and limits and may require comprehensive coverage.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Charlotte Flair, 6-time WWE SmackDown Women's Champion.
What do you think is more difficult, like having the main event of WrestleMania in Dallas, or like Key playing wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys?
This takes athleticism. The other takes athleticism, acting, on the fly, controlling an audience.
Yeah, Charlotte, that's what I'm talking about.
There's levels to it.
That stuff looked like it hurts.
Listen in to Key, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor from 5 to 8 on the Zone.
I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence.
It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're here in the Rollo Insurance Studio on a Tuesday morning. Appreciate everybody listening in. We do have a show topic that we can discuss with you. I know a lot of you have put your answers there on TexAgs.com, on the message boards premium site, also on the chat, on YouTube, and, of course, TexAgs.com. If you want to text the A&B text line, you can, 979-693-1150. The question is, who's your 1A, 1B? Who you got to beat this year? Who's the team you've got to beat this year? It could be personal reasons. You could be mad at Lane Kiffin. It could be Nick Saban because of what Alabama means. It could be LSU because they're a huge rival. It could be anybody. It could be Arkansas. OB had them as his 1B because they beat you last year, and that's the team you need to be beating every single year. So there's a lot of different options out there. I gave mine, and we can kind of go through those again. But the thing I wanted to get into this segment that kind of bugged me, and again, it doesn't bug me because the questions are good-natured. Like, I went on Chuck Oliver's show yesterday, and I believe he had asked something to the effect of, actually, it was on the Feinbaum. Feinbaum went on Cole Kubelik's show and Greg McElroy, and he actually said that Jimbo, the way he phrased it was Jimbo attacked Lane Kiffin, right? And I've maintained, and I'll say it 1,000 times, Jimbo did not attack Lane Kiffin. Jimbo responded to Lane Kiffin. And I think that needs to really be understood. It's not like all of a sudden Jimbo was having a press conference. He's like, you know what? I'm going to call Lane Kiffin a clown. That's not how it went. It was more of people saying there should be a luxury tax, and A&M is some guy named Sliced Bread is saying A&M is spending X amount of dollars, telling these lies out there and creating this false narrative about Texas A&M and really discrediting the hard work that staff did. Let's not forget, first off, Jimbo has been doing top 10 recruiting classes, top 5 recruiting classes forever, okay? So you've got that. Also, it was a historically great year from the city of Houston for talent that was right down the street, and A&M has had a pipeline to Houston, and they've done it before, and they're doing it again, right? So those are a lot of reasons right there to help. Also, you got a lot of big names that help get the momentum going early on, from Connor Wigman to Bobby Taylor. There's a lot of things that started happening. The pool party turned the corner for a lot of these athletes. You say, well, why the pool party? How about the Alabama game? Like, there's a lot of reasons, and we've talked about the reasons, and that's why I think you discredit Jimbo's job and the entire staff's job by just saying it was an NIL reason. And how many times do we have to say, if it was only NIL, I think DeMarvin's coming back. I think others are coming back, right? There's a lot of reasons to be upset about it. So it is not an attack. It was a response, and people are going to make of it what they want, but it was a complete response, and that's what bugs me about this entire thing. So when I talk about my 1A and 1B, I'm petty, right? I have to get even. Even Steven, like an episode of Seinfeld, I've got to get you back. So, but luckily, we don't have a coach that is as emotional and volatile as fans are, as OB, myself, whomever, is. We have our reasons for it. That's why the question's out there, right? Like, if you ask any real coach, they're going to be like, who do you want to beat? Sure, they got some internal reasons to beat teams. They just want to win the next game. Let's win the next game, then we'll worry about the next. But for us sitting here in April and having talking points and looking at things that upset us, you've got to beat Lane Kiffin, as good of a coach as he is, because he brought the smack. Okay. You got to beat Nick Saban, to me, 1A, because you can't say Georgia, who won the national championship, because they're not on your schedule yet. Hopefully you do play them in a SEC championship game, or whoever's from the East. But like on your schedule right now, you've got Bama because of what they represent. What they represent in college football, what they represent in the SEC, and what they represent every year for Texas A&M as a yearly opponent. And you know that you beat them last year here at Kyle Field with Zach Calzada. Hopefully this year your quarterback situation is tight. You're fine, right? That win can mean so much to the big, big, big picture. But there's reasons to go after Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. A, because they're a good program. They had a great year last year. It's funny, though. It's funny. their offense sure didn't work as well when Matt Corral got hurt. It's interesting. I wonder why. God forbid your starting quarterback goes down and you don't have the same success and people label you 8-4 for that reason. What do you think Ole Miss does last year if Matt Corral goes down? Do they go to the Sugar Bowl? Probably not. And Matt Corral, who was injured for a little bit and they struggled, he looked good against Texas A&M. He looked real good against Texas A&M, and so did that defense. But, Ole Miss, you've added some players, but you lost your defensive coordinator who came to us and who had a phenomenal year last year with you. You lost your Heisman contending-esque quarterback to the NFL. You lost other assistants. You brought in some good guys. And now you've talked a lot of smack. So that's why I put them as my 1B. And my 1C, if we're extending it, is to LSU because they are a rival. They are a team that you're competing against not only on the field, but with recruits in your backyard. There's a lot of reason for LSU, and because of them trying to poach Jimbo away, right? So you've got those reasons to want to go after them. But again, Jimbo's misunderstood, and the national narrative out there bugs me. It bugs me because, regardless if it's a response or not, people have come after him. And I paid attention to it, but they get these talking points, the NIL thing that what I was going to start the segment off with from Chuck Oliver was, David, you guys should embrace this NIL thing. This is great for you. And I embrace that A&M is on the cutting edge and has adopted that they can, maximize opportunities with NIL the same way other proud institutions are, for sure. But all that being said, it minimizes what they did. And then he asked me about, the differences, between Texas and Texas A&M and if we're looking over our shoulder. And no, when they get here, they get here. Texas might have a good year this year in the Big 12. The Big 12's down. They might have a good year. They might not. I don't know. I don't care. I know that I trust our coach. Put the resumes next to each other. Track record, national championship, success, recruiting, and I think we're fine. So the 1A, 1B, 1C, you've got it. Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU. Let's go to the News and Social Center. What are the people saying, Eric Asars?
Yeah, so someone wanted you to talk about Miami, and he said, this is a 214 number. He said, first he said Miami for the recruiting battle of all the guys in Florida. That was his 1A. And then his second option was Bama because then they will be the SEC championship contention. But he wanted you to address the Miami. It is very important to us to pull out some of those kids from Florida.
Yeah, it's important. But I think an SEC championship is way more important. And look, every game is going to be important the week of. But I don't have that on my hierarchy. It's not in my 3 or 4. It's not in my top 4 wins. I understand what you're saying, winning, what that means for recruiting. I get it. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. But to me, it goes beyond the winning. Jimbo's got a great relationship already in Florida with high school coaches and athletes, obviously, from his time at Florida State. You saw what they did this past year in some of the Florida guys that they were able to get, what they've been able to do during his time here. So from that respect, I think we're doing just fine there in Florida. We do need to beat Florida. We do need to beat Miami. There's sure, those become important. But when I'm thinking of have-to games, I just don't think of Miami right away. Do I think about them? Sure. But they're not one of those have-to, I have to have them. I want to go 12-0. So, yes, they're all have-tos. But the Bama game, the Ole Miss game, the LSU game, the Arkansas game is probably next after that. Mississippi State is the game that could really derail your season as it has before. And that becomes, I still think Mississippi State is more important than Miami. Now, we'll see. Miami, new coach, program, hopefully for them turning itself around, who they will be at the end of the year will probably not be the same team they are early. A victory over them is going to go a long way in your resume, and because I think they're going to be pretty good when it's all said and done. But when I'm trying to organize a ranking, Miami is not out there. What else you got, Eric?
Yeah, first I wanted to say that I agree because I think Miami is one of those games that you were talking about that you have to win those games, right? So when you're looking at the SEC schedule and you're doing 1A, 1B, you're not going to put Miami up there as a team that you would want to beat because that's a game that you should win. But when you're looking at a team like Alabama, Alabama's obviously got to be 1A. And then I think a team to bring up for 1A, 1B, or 2, or whatever you call it, I think you got to put a team like Arkansas, a team that is going to be good and it's going to be like, they're going to be looking at that schedule and be like, we got to beat A&M on this day. It's like, well, we're the better team, so we got to focus strictly on that game. And it's a game that, yeah, you should win, but at the same time, you never know.
Well, so I thought Arkansas was going to have a demise this year. I didn't expect them to be transfer U again. I expected that, right? So from that respect, Arkansas is a big game. Yeah. Jerry's World. You're not going to have the home field advantage like you would have, every other year. Yada yada yada. That's going to be a big game, especially knowing they took it to you. The game was close. You had a chance, but they took it to you early on, and you had no offense. And you've owned that series for the last decade, so, win that back. So, yeah, I mean, again, there's no right or wrong answer. You go 12-0, they're all important. You go 8-4, you look at your schedule like, man, there was a game there we should have had. So you can nitpick several different ways. All right, when we come back here, the great Pat Henry will be in studio. We'll talk some track and field. I know Eric will have a question for him at some point. Right now, though, experience the difference with Caprock Health System and their patient-centered care. They're 100% locally owned and operated here in the Brazos Valley, and they put the patient first in every decision that they make. They sure do that, and they just want to make you feel better. So when you go into an emergency-like situation, it's scary. Like, what you're thinking about as you drive in there, as you're waiting in the waiting room, and you're just scared. Well, the good thing about Caprock is you never have to sit in a crowded waiting room. Their sole purpose is to make you feel better, and they're going to put you in there quickly, and they're going to make you feel better immediately because that's what they do. They put their patient first in every decision that they make. They've got Caprock Hospital in Bryan, and they've got Caprock 24-hour emergency center in College Station. They both have 0 wait times for emergency care. Like I mentioned, you'll never have to sit in a crowded waiting room. And the hospital and 24-hour ER maintain a clean and sterile, safe environment. It is Caprock Health System.
It's like when they replaced Aunt Viv on The Fresh Prince. David Nuño on TexAgs Radio. Weekdays on The Zone.
If you're a runner, walker, or interested in fitness, the right shoe makes all the difference. At Brazos Running Company, they are passionate about running and finding the right shoe for you. Brazos Running Company is a local, Aggie-owned and operated specialty running store with an outstanding selection of running gear and shoes, including sought-after brands like Brooks, On, and Hoka. They'll help you find the shoe that fits your stride and style. Brazos Running Company next to Kohl's in College Station. Save 10% in-store when you mention code TexAgs10.
Big deals. Looking for more ways to save money? Aren't we all? Jenny here. Shop your local Big Deals online store. You'll find gift certificates to all kinds of local businesses, places where you already shop, restaurants you already love, and great local entertainment. The best part? All of these gift certificates are on sale at discounted prices. Get them for yourself or buy them as a gift. Shop and save. You'll be glad you did.
AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Since 1957, Slovakic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovakic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovakic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovakic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
If you have considered replacing the windows in your brick veneer home, you may have been told that it would be necessary to either remove the brick or tear up the inside of your window box. You need to know that Intercon replaces windows and brick every day, and we don't tear up anything except the window which is being removed. By installing windows every day, Intercon personnel have worked out methods which result in the replacement windows being at least as neat and effectively installed as your windows were when they were new. This means that Intercon can furnish and install replacement windows which exceed today's tighter standards for efficiency. They look and perform just as well as the best windows in brand new homes. Call Intercon or visit our showroom and we will furnish you customer references for homes you can look at and homeowners you probably know who can tell you that Intercon can solve your window problems without wrecking your home or your budget, just as we did theirs. Intercon will furnish a free quote and we won't pressure you to buy.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency